Ambassador. So we will start with our Congress. I know other people will find us on the way. So why are we here? We are here for African Stars Supporters Club Congress. I believe it's the first of its kind in Namibia, but maybe as history will be told, we might be told otherwise, but for now, let's take it that way, that we are now making history for the first time to have an organized supporters club. This is what we are doing now. The generations to come might appreciate that if we do it properly. But before everything else, I would like to establish the protocols. Yes, we have our chairman here, Mr. Hay. We have the ambassador. Yeah, and then we have the steering committee. A committee we have been on the forefront of the organization of this event. I know it is winter. Other people might find us on the way, but we will kickstart the program. So, having established the protocol, I'm with my colleague, Mr. John Rego, here with me. We were just communicating over social media, but I came to realize that it's a giant of a man, so you have been led by two giants today. So, allow me to call upon Reverend or Archbishop Wediwa to open for us the meeting or the Congress with a prayer. Yeah. Yeah, rekano kuneno kuhepa mndu mmoja ndange kuja wamuno chivare kuvandu veya kujungura chetu kitenga kyo Congress ya African Star ngunda tuyapura tunake kuruhungi ngunda maturu kumena ko kuja ojungura chetu kitenga kyo African Star Congress ya supporter chinangara kumakwari yarwe ekuruhungi chimari yari hungirwe mari yanari kupatururo mwana apia kulire mbonoko ejivanu haribu ofia muto hepero opianjo ndangu kwa vandu veapo nujiri kombana ya bihe ocheme na eto ngiripu na ete ya ngiripu na basa eto Dr. Kaire Ngwende opatro na eto unamuna eto kona machipekara machipekara ya okuja na ulidi ngujimo jamdani abiribu mu vandu vajo urpego yongo tulipamwe ngari yofano kuma itwara onjo uchiri oya ndondi muri komurungo onjo mbali ndoma de munana ya amwami right mupya umwendo muhimba bika kopo nawami kugiripa memba mbe hapo no bulando makono wa jimbeu muni omumbaderu nambano nuko mundawaka uko uno twaisa kwa mara kwa kukulu nokupakwa uno mkuiwa anotati nukula mbili chukizo tujawa mwoto kwa chivi munagweyuwa mumpiano kwa chivi opomo ambara methano mwangu wedhiwa okutupatulio chilungana chetu nongumbira chene mbeleze wajanjeli kuyengo mwangu wedhiwa ungira kwa mjua na jua kile kawa ongero chari cha muhongi ya Yeah, open it up better. Also, very fun. On the way, yeah, open it up better. Orang kata ini pun orang yang ini pak, orang jadi beri kamu ini tahu ini, hati buku kamu orang yang kata ya, untuk mana ini, jadi ada jika kurang kopi, maka kita kenal yo de lo que espera. No, toda la uso, toda la uso, no le ve nada. Y toda la uso, no puede ser algo. No, por la algo de cuando veo que se va a ver siempre. Oye, para no beber. Ya, no lo hago.
Right. Dear colleagues, I would also like to acknowledge the presence of the former ambassador, my cousin as well, Dr. Kaira Bonde, the presence, and the African Stars chairperson, also the long-time captain, and on the arrival also, I will also acknowledge the presence of Mr. C.K. Kambaekwa coming on, and everybody present. As it was already stated, that I will be the director of ceremony at the time, will be Mr. We also like to acknowledge the arrival of Mr. Kuri Ishiru, the acting chairperson of the steering committee. It was unfortunate on your arrival at the time that I have to invite you to the podium to the welcome remarks to the community present here. I believe that let me maybe just use that mic. Okay, sorry, the professional nature of your soldier, so I might also use let me use my proper words as I have to. Right, and I will also call upon Mr. Kori, without wasting time, just to do the welcoming remarks. And at the same time, I would also like to introduce our agenda. I understand or I believe that not all of us are having the drafted program. We have also made some changes or adjustments on the agenda. So as you can see there on your phones, we have the directors of ceremony, who's Mr. Muptia and Mr. John Dwedu. Then we were having an arrival and a registrations, which is taking place there and right in the corner, which led by or either facilitated by Dr. G. Ngwehi and Ms. Amunyela. And we have our opening prayer, which was done by by Archbishop H. Wediwa. Then we will be having the welcoming remarks by acting chairperson, Mr. Corey Kashiru. And then we will having our introductory remarks, which will be done by the steering committees, or either we will introduce the steering committees and the little big background of how we reach up to this stage. Then we will have our African Stars history, which will be led by Mr. CK and also followed by Mr. Wanivi. We will also having after that we will having our opening remarks from the African Stars Football Club chairperson, Mr. S. Hay. Then we will have our tea break, whereby the tea break will be followed by the presentation of the Constitution, which is going to be led by Mr. Mwakono and Mr. John Bedu, myself. And then up to lunch. After lunch, we will also continue with the presentation of the Constitution, whereby we will also invite each and everyone's inputs that we will have by that time. And we will also have a short brief or either of the financial report of the collections that we have done. And we will go on, we will proceed with the nomination of Supporters Club management, whereby we are going to elect our leaders or people that are going to take charge of the Supporters Club. At around 16:45, we will be having a tea break. Then we will have after tea break of 15 minutes, we will have the election after the nominations, and then we confirm the elections. Then we will now announce the results of the election by Mr. Chirimuye, who will be the chairperson of the election committee. Then we'll look onto the way forward by the newly elected chairperson of the African Stars Football Club, Supporter Club. Then we will have our closing remarks, which will be done by Dr. K. Bwende as a patron of the African Stars Supporters Club patron. And then we will have our closing remarks, which will be done by Priest El Kandetu. So that's shortly our program is going to be. I know it sounds very long, but as much as we bring in our inputs, it will also be shortened and so on. So let me not waste time and call upon Mr. Kashiru to introduce or to do the welcome remarks. Sorry.
Good morning. Good morning, House. Good morning, African Stars Support Club. Good morning. Firstly, we would like to appreciate Mr. Hay in our midst. We are much appreciated for your time, commitment. Also, we want to appreciate our patron, Dr. Wende. Thank you so much for being here with us in a short notice. The same apply to our Mr. Kambaikwa and you guys are welcome as well. You always with us each and every time. So good morning, House, once again. My name is Corey Kashiru. My name is Kashiru. We are going to be very short because we are late actually in time due to yesterday we've been here until close to 2. And we are very sorry for that. And I believe a lot of people are coming like soon with time. But for now, I just want to welcome you. Feel free. We've been here today. We're going to be here today the whole day. And please do not hesitate to. If you have anything problem, please communicate with Mr. Makona here or in our crew so that we can assist you in case if you need something like a toilet or anything or need any refreshment. Good morning once again. Thank you so much.
All right, our next item on the program, I'd also like to thank Mr. Corey to welcome us at this event. And the next item will be the introductory remarks of the steering committee. Of course, in the introductory remarks, it was a very tough task that we have been taking up. As much as we know, years back, there has been some hiccups, fights within our societies, and it comes to the understanding of members or either the society to establish the supporters club. Time have come, people have come, they have gathered at Stan Barnabas, whereby the meetings have took place. Various members have been nominated and appointed in various positions or portfolios, whereby there was 2 late members, the recent Mr. Kashaimo, who was the last chairperson at the time, then a group of Mr. Harakutas and everyone. Then it goes on, it ends at the point where we don't know where actually it faced. So after it phased out, there is a platform created which called an African Stars supporters fan page, whereby everyone have been joining on a link. And then we have been just discussing. Sometimes we come to the point that we discuss about the games or either the matches that the team is playing, and we mobilize people to attend the games and so on. And then it comes to the sense of the community or either the members of the platforms that know what are we doing as supporters. And then it's whereby we come up again with an issue that we should create a supporters club. Of course, there was a first committee being elected also on the platform, whereby we don't even know each other, we just communicate there, we don't know how do we become committees. So, and then I was also part of it, and Mr. Kaldetu, Mr. Chirimuye, and others. So, and then we were also assigned that we should hook up with Mr. Harakuta's group so that we can get to know where did they went and so far, and where did they end up. So we have been fighting to get Mr. Harakuta in hand so that we can sit together and discuss the matters. But and then it ends with no way again. Well, on the same platform, we also went ahead, and then the same members, they also added on the existing committee. They also add other members, whereby they add the former councillor and the group of Mr. Mupias and everyone. So then it's whereby we said, okay, fine, let's now put another gear, which we are going to force up the matters. And we have been trying all our level best. We tried to engage with the team management, whereby it went very successfully. And it also went to the extent that because there has been money involved, of which it tends also to be with Mr. Harakuta and Mr. Chihuro, who were the collectors of the funds at that moment. And the aim of the collection of the funds, it was that it's for us to host such event. So it's been unfortunately that we could not get hold of the money which is having with Mr. Harakuta and Mr. Chihuro, but we went ahead asking any member of the supporters club or any supporter just to collect the $200 so that we can be able to host the Congress, so that and then we can have the leadership, which is the Congress that we are today here for. So, and even at the last minute, the group of the former councillor and Mr. Kandetu and others, they went to the extent of even launch a complaint at the NAMPOL, whereby the case is still pending with Mr. Harakuta. So there were many excuses, of which he was saying that no, he's having the supporters club have been registered, but it was unfortunate because the supporters club that is registered is a Stalile or Zimbabweans or so on. It was two different things. So, and then it been a very case that they have been there, he says that no, on my records, on my document, says that no, if members give the money, I don't know, it's a new rule maybe, if the members give the money, they cannot be able to retain the money back, but the committee can use the money and repay it back in any other case. So That was the trick which was played with Mr. Warakuta. So it been unfortunately that we could not get hold of that amount, but we did not leave it there. We are still facing, after the Congress, if the new leadership comes in, maybe to find out those money, because it's community's money. So that's actually briefly that actually happens, or that actually brought us up to this stand that we should be the steering committee. And then this steering committee consists of the following members, and I would love to introduce to them to you, so that, and if I call them, they will just come in front. Starting with Mr. Mupia, you can just stand up there. Then the former councillor, Mr. Kandrodu, the Archbishop Uwediwa, Mr. Kandetu, Mr. Makono, Mr. Shirimuye, Mr. Hakuria, Dr. Kangwehi, Ms. Amunyela, so I think Mr. Mupia will also, Mr. Corey also. So, and then among this, we have been communicating only on WhatsApp, is whereby we also appointed Mr. Corey as a chairperson, act as a chairperson for us. So then is whereby we also appointed Mr. Kandorodu and Dr. Kangwei to facilitate our accounts which we opened. We also appointed Mr. Mupia as an PRO and Mr. Muyoro. In his absences, we also give an excuse that he is out of the country with the work commitment. So those are the members, and then the rest were just additional members. So as me and Mr. Makono were assigned to deal with the constitution. So I think if I left any other person, maybe the committee will also be able to. And then there are also other members who we also added on the group, like Mr. Ben Nautoro and Mr. Siko Chaverwa and Faya Kawike also. So those, they were also in the other committee in the previous one. But then we brought them in so that they can also be able to tell us that where did they went so far. They were also bringing the impact, a very huge one. So there is also Mr. Kahimi Sedabdura, the former player also of African Stars. So those are the committee members, I think. Sandy and Aline also, they are our members, or they are also members of the steering committees, those who are busy with the catering section of the Congress now. I think so far, those, Mr.? Right. Yeah. Okuchoku neno kuhepa. Memuno munene mengi tarane hore.
Ya, kugonga udhibika ina kugonga udhibika. Ikane pasha kuno kakomiti ya kuka ya pakati kutuwa ngajara. Kupeke ya kushanga hino muhina bihembe hinka kwa kalamba. Pero hina kabika enda po. Mpena kunoshi ya kwa mpena kunoshi ingisa. Ina kuhepa kuita mu kwa dawi. Baka bina biaka enda po kutoshi ya haka kushanga hino. Komunika yeshina pena go kambali. Ingia do apon ku. Yemunene harakuta munene shiburu. Wadu mwa shimaria murweze ndo poti yaka kwatiruka ufupio usha pekeo komiti ya rwenje kufa yo shimana yobana buri mu ngarabitu tuna materi hamwe ambaro wengi biheri bani ko shiwa biri ko kwa banda uje kuba torre changa peka ka komiti ke makatiti ko fupi ko tuka wakati ko tuka ngajana peno bani ne bai tani wa bani abushya ko heri ko ambara omunene siki muyoro yenga pitimehi no yumura okombe itakuno wakala na beta tubiri banango baro mberi ba munikamba yaro kanga itaja kuna mberi na penalina ibo muyero mbono kana obushya oba no uwe ndayitira shikinge kandushi kakaja congress mu kugodo kubanawo
Okunena kwe muto mtengwa uvuga to newe njifire. Ompako mairi iri kombanda jinene. Yeah. Oh yeah, that is the steering committee which is now in place. So the next item will be the African Stars history, which will be led by Mr. CK, and then it will be followed by Mr. Wanivi. Mr. CK, platform. Oyo item ajime kongore po oyo ekurungiro African Stars ha. Imaikanda yo mutengwa kambaiko.
Good morning, everybody. Let me first acknowledge my old friend, my old buddy, Akaire Gwede, probably the only guy from All Location I'm seeing here. I'm not sure there's any other from All Location. Let me thank the organizing committee for inviting me to come and officiate at this historic gathering to talk about the history of African Stars and institution. The first question is, why do we join football clubs? It's football clubs, it's about a sense of belonging. As a kid growing up in All Location, and All Location where Auckland Park is located today, we used to follow African Stars. It was actually the only team that represented the Ovaherero people. Obviously, there were some other teams, but those teams were like, there was a team called Celtics. Some of the players who could not make it into the African Stars, first and second teams, they started their own teams. And later on, Hungry Lions, Flames, all these teams were players from African Stars. But from what I learned throughout my journey in football, is there were three clubs at All Location. One was Juvenile, the other one was Young Standard, and the other one was Washaway. These teams were struggling a little bit against the likes of Tigers and Cape Cross, which became Pirates, and then other top teams there. And it was decided to form one strong team that will represent the Ovaherero community with pride, kind of ethnic pride. As you might be aware, all the teams were formed along ethnic lines, let us be honest. And it was a sense of belonging, having something that you can pick on that can unite people. Football unite people, and African Stars is the only entity that has managed to keep the Ovaherero people together. You can define politics, tribal politics, whatever associations, church, people fight in churches. But when it comes to African Stars, people become one. So I was lucky in the sense that I managed to watch the first generation of African Stars. I was still a young boy, probably 8 years old. But at the time, those guys were coming towards the end of their careers. Like Katume and all these guys. Then I watched the second generation, which consisted of Opet Kaburona, Chidem Wadisigo, and a number of other players, top players. During that time, to be quite honest, frankly honest, African Stars was a very average team. All these years when I studied African Stars, until the arrival of the golden generation led by Kaifa. If I recall, there were two players. You know, sometimes you grow up hating people and you grow up to love people. There were two players that we were praying that these guys, they break their legs, tall guys, and I will mention them. Unfortunately, they passed away. David Jode and Usiel Sienda, they were fullbacks. These guys were scoring own goals like they're going out of fashion. Every time we go and watch African Stars, we come back crying just because of these two players in the back there. Nevertheless, there were some great players. Amos Shombe, Opet Kaburona, Ru, Aonga. African Stars was the first team to win a tournament of prize money. That was the Days Finisher Cup in 1977. They beat Black Africa 3-2 in the final. Best 1,000 rand. Which the people say, Onjo Katherano Njari Peyovi. Onjo Katherano Njari Peyovi. It was 1974, yeah. 1974. I was there at the Kalitula Stadium. African Stars was the first team to win the Cup double, the league and the Mainstay Cup, which is now the NFA Cup, 1977, when football became multiracial. African Stars was the first team to beat a white team, because when football became multiracial, the white teams were probably a little bit ahead of us. in terms of techniques, understanding, interpretation of rules. They beat Sparta in Walvis Bay. I was there, 5-3. African Stars have always been at the forefront. It was also the first club to welcome players of other races, not races only, tribes, or whatever you may call it. A lot of people are saying it's a viral team, but there were, I don't know of any other, whether it's a Chiwambo player or a Herrero, whatever, except Namas and Damaras playing for Orlando Pirates. All these years, probably only now the last 2 or 3 years. African Stars was the only player that welcomed players from other tribes. African Stars has always been at the forefront of many things. But there were also some tough times when the teams went through a dip in form, like any other institutions. But then we had resolute people that stood behind the team. And I will be failing in my duty if I don't mention the name of Kela Kauta. Because he carried this team not only as a coach, but as a father to many, and they signed players. They went and signed some refugee players from Rundu, and these players brought a new dimension to the team. And that's the same year that African Stars won the Wednesday Cup and the National League title. At the time we used to play Central, South, West. But that was one point. That was the only year that we played the Central League until the formation of the National NSSL, which was African Stars was also at the forefront of breaking away. When the 8 teams broke away in 1985 to form the NSSL. And we must be thankful to people like Patrick Kauta. We must be lucky that we have somebody like Kasa and Patrick Kauta to carry this brand. Because African Stars is all we have. The current trend now, I'm seeing a lot of teams from the Army, Correctional Services. Orlando Pirates is gone. Black Africa is gone. 11 Arrows is gone. Chiefs Sanders is gone. Benfica is gone. Chelsea is gone. These were top teams, and I don't see them coming back. And if we are not careful preserving our treasured assets, we are going to have a Puklwitz 11 and then Breweries 11, teams with no history, and football will be gone. That's why we must be lucky and really consider ourselves very, very fortunate to have people who have been taking this club to the next level. The way this club is organized, they are at a different level to other teams. And I'm glad that the supporters have taken it upon themselves, not just this view, I'm a supporter. It's our team, but you don't put anything into organization, administration, but you want to have a say. The clubs nowadays is money. Players get paid. No longer loyalty now. So I must congratulate the initiative of this gathering of the supporters club, and I will urge you work closely with the management and try to keep up the level as African Stars has set up the bar. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you, Mr. CK. And it's just something that have slipped my mind. I'm really apologizing also in that matter, hence that we are in a very dark day that we have lost one of our member or a long-time player. I would like to invite everybody to rise so that we can observe the moment of silence for our late Mr. Meroro, who have left us some days ago. Right. Amen. Right. Thank you very much. And the moment of silence, we observe it not only for Mr. Meroro, but we also observed all members of African staff who have lost their lives even some days or years ago. And since that we are also here, since that we are here now, I will also not waste time now to invite Mr. Waniwi, since he started, how did he become a player of African Stars? How have he been playing or how have he been doing? So that's it. Sure.
Greetings to the chairman, Mr. Solomon, patron of African Stars, Mr. Mwende, former chairman of African Stars, Mr. Kauta, members of the steering committee, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. It's an honor and pleasure for me to be here. I want to thank the steering committee for inviting me. I've been around for African Stars since 2004 when I joined African Stars. Straight from Concordia College, I was very young when I joined African Stars. That was 2004. And the team was going under transition. Really, we had lost a lot of players and we had a lot of new players. That was the likes of the late Uyetiek, Noele, Pule Dikotle, Moke Shodongoro, they all came from the ships. Putiki Mal has joined, Dennis Gueda, Makanya Gavekenda. I also joined that same year. We were a lot of new players, so we were trying to gel and get the team. We struggled that season, which is 2004-2005 season. We really struggled. I think we came at number 7 or 8. We started with Coach Waka Waka Hohasep. Then after a few games, he left. Mr. Norika Anyuka took over. Only lasted for a few games as well. Then we had Coach Gilbert Rasoka, who came in and changed a lot of things. And following season, which is now 2005-2006, we had new players as well who joined, the likes of Erwin Nyembo, and also Sitali Mulife from Zambia. He was a goalkeeper. Jeffrey was a defender also from Zambia. We had Samson Kawawa from Zimbabwe. And these guys, they brought stability to the team, really. The guys like Nyembo, then they brought another spirit in the team. He was a very, very funny guy. Even when we are training, and it's a corner against him, and there's a new player who wants to take a corner. Nico, imagine, why Nico? Apeka enda ya kuspana, mwishi TV hakuji hapo nampana. Mungu waende Mungu maketoko ni nari ni mwigu shuni ndio unaleti. We wenje ijoko toka ijo. Come back. We mwambo kavito kona kaenda kuspana ikura hapo nampano. It was nice having those guys in the dressing room. Really, they brought something different in the team. And if you don't have a heart, you won't play around those guys. 2006, we played 2005, we played our first cup final. It was the FNB Cup against Blue Water here at Semnioma. Unfortunately, we lost on penalties. 2006, we reached the same final against Civics. We lost to Civics on penalties again. And I was one of the guys who missed the penalty that day. 2007, in May, we went to another final. It was against Pirates, the NFA Cup final, MTC NFA Cup final, which we won on penalties. and I scored the winning penalty that day. I, I remember when I was on the way to take that penalty, I was hearing supporters saying, "Wow, which work I go to to the same bamba we didn't need to leave me, which work I came half." And I heard them, and it was an encouragement for me to say, "This time I will make sure." I even remember Mali Garidemo asking me why Peter Motushiti and even while I was walking, Karapo Karamata was running behind me, coming back. I told him, come. And I scored that penalty. We won our first cup final. 2007, we went to the same final again. It was against Civics. We lost 1-0. Lawrence still had scored a free kick. So after that final, during the preseason now preparing for 2008-2009 season, Coach Gilbert Rasoka left. He went to 11 Neros, and then came Coach Bobby Samaria. When Bobby came, after a few weeks of training, he realized that the team needed only small changes, 2 or 3 players to be a championship team. He went and brought Munwandu Ngashibeko and Rutilo. And those are the 2 guys who really changed everything at Stars. They brought the winning mentality. The dressing room was different. We could speak about winning the league now. And that guy, Yamu, for me, is the best player that I have ever played with at Stars. He made you feel like you are a top player. Whatever he's doing with the ball, you could see that something is about to happen. You won't take that ball away from him. I remember when we went to play in Sume against Chief Santos. They attacked us and it was a through ball. Now you're here, I really should be looking at me some mix. Munda mimeka tana ukamba tamwa. Why people pushing berry, Papa Sula Ujikotoro, Biro Wafa Pokona. We can be as Ramboya Geko will be the Mugo to Bereko. I said, why you can't do that? Yeah, that was young, really, it was a different player. And Rutilo, top player, really, can't say. If I have to speak about Ruti, I won't finish. Really, he was a top player. So that season, we won the league, our first league title. Dressing room, Ruti rumu yako Ruti ndisha hamo Stella. Totally ya mwiri ndinga ma ifeka mutego kunanga inondi tulinawa inondi tiri mumuta ya Ruti rumwe ndichiri mukuyegamira mwa panyanga taramba betu ngero yiyongwa nyaja tata akina kuti yama ndirondo kaloro. Yeah, it was nice. Really, it was very nice. The mood, the spirit, the unity, harmony, everything in the team was top notch. It was a top team that we had, and we had very good players. Maximilian Baeva was our goalkeeper. We had 2 defensive guys, Andrew and Mali Garidemo. Not Mali. Mali had left that season. It was me. Then Boke on the left, we had Dennis Guerra on the right, Yamu and Ninja in midfield. Rutilo is number 10, Gasaka the Uruguay, and Masinga Mwewa on the wing, and then we had Flowers Gitomba up front. That was basically our starting lineup that season. And it was a good team, really. So the following season, 2009, 2010, it was basically the same team. But then we brought in Quentin Jacobs, but he didn't last that long at the team, really. It was maybe a few games he left. But still, we had a very good team. We won the double, our first league and cup double. We beat Civics 1-0 in the Leo Cup final. The following season, I think that's when Sydney Martin took over the team. Coach Kobe was still the coach. Unfortunately, we did not win anything that season. The league was won by BA. The following season, again, 2011, 2012, we only won the Bidwest Cup final, which we beat Vaticanas on 2-0. The coach now was Ali Akan. The following season, we also won that same cup. The coach was Woody Jacobs. We had some few new faces in the team, the likes of Bradley Wehman, Marai Swarpe, Rian Plute, Tiki Mahas came back from Pirates. We had a very, very strong team, a good team, but we could not win the league. BA was always there. We were winning the league. We won that league 4 times in a row. We were only winning the cups. And when Woody Jacobs, the following season now, which is 14 and 15 season, we won the league. And also the Super Cup. Following season, Tigers won the league, and we only won the Super Cup. From there on, being 2 years, we did not have football in Namibia. 2017, 2018, we came back, we won the league, and also the cup, which we beat UNAM 1-0 in the final. And the following season, BA won the league again. We only won the Standard Bank Top 8 Cup. Thereon was this football politics. We did not play the transitional league and all this stuff. Then we came back 2002, 2003, which we won the league title. So from 2004 to 2023, we won 5 league titles. We won 5 NFA Cups. We won a League Cup in 2011, 2012, yes. We won a League Cup. It was just a competition, not the league. It was just a small competition which was there. We won 2 Super Cups and also a top 8. So basically that was 14 trophies that we won from 2004 to 2023. So that's all that I have for you today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Seite also reminded us.
Jisile kabisa pale kukana kememba. Ukonstitution African Stars ya utayashangwa wa hende aliyetundu kolongwili Dr. Tunguru Haraka na Shasa Kawaida. Anje wili honga ko South Africa ko burando. Charwe peno vandu mbaha kubetha pe imuna bongiro banyande mo umbanda banyanda we African Stars. Parumun mendu wari luta kaloga ngagire ko Ogoshitu. Arimbesto da shimuje oshifa yamuwa. Yongiro banyanda ko bamanyande we African Stars. Yaro imba kulembuka mbaga ino mba kulemba koka na kimbege sapi. African Stars mo 1978 karika pospana jo yeshi news atendo provincial. Ari no anyande hambo umwe. Ile kabari hamo mbali honya ihamo ngoro. Anyande mamisa na komana. Oscar Mengo, Njiwa Kawami, Umbetu la Shirera, Oguli Guida, Emmanuel Agamusarandu, Okapushi Kuhaka. Sharu Emma Ukulembulka, Amandu, Ba Neno, Yanjuru Barako African Stars Ashiri, Ungotre, Obi Hordena, Port Zulikwe, the Hamuni, Benshi Ambata Benomuna Berico, Atu Pomunene, Levi, Ikonja, Mumugondo, Stanley Kolongwili, uno munyo no, Kaubutishuma, Aserbai, Jerry, Shikebu Zangawake, Kamura Samutu Manu Mutua, Pando Atidishi Romun Wangulu African Stars, Pena Omu Ostreka de Suve, Makari, very poor, on the way about this way. Meho, the third calendar, Babe, the Kiro African stars of Ujabu, camping a Pogo, Polo, Banda, a hill de Sharira, Okbar, Obuzo Kilia, Nakarisha, Umitri Wahira Shoreka, Onkasa, Uliponi Nabano, no, we are okay with two PC Clemens Apu, Tangishin.
Thank you very much, Mr. CK. Remember, we have only mentioned some few old players and some also supporters that have been also with African Stars. And when you see Mr. Wanivi, it's also a son of a former African Stars player who's also currently a chief Ingate also. So it comes from home. I mentioned this because myself, I have also coached the team that now called Okahanja United. When it comes from the first division to the Premier League, I was in charge. But then when I handed over, I felt that, I feel not at home at all. So and then I said, no, let me just rather go back there where home is. So I'm saying this because there are times, there are people that have been out, but they feel that, let's go back home and let's pull it up from there. So these are the morale which is everybody supposed to have. So with no wasting time, I would also like to call Mr. Mupia to proceed with the proceedings. And then I will just sit for a while until I come back on stage.
Yeah, thank you very much, co-director. Yeah, we shall continue. We will also step over some minutes so that we can catch in with the program. Yeah, it is really a very important piece of history that we had to listen to. When we started this thing of the social WhatsApp group, I came to realize that in Namibia, we only have one problem, and it is a matter of managing a very big group. But in African Star, we have to grow to overcome that, realizing that it does not only end with one tribe, it cut across the tribes, it is even cutting across the borders. We have supporters in Angola, Zambia, South Africa, all over the SADC region. So we have to be able to manage that. So now we have an opportunity to call upon our chairman, Mr. Hay, to open for us the event officially. Mr. Hay, talk to your people.
Thank you, Director of Ceremonies. When I was seated there and I heard CK and Pet speaking about the history of our beloved club,
I'm very sorry, Mr. Chairperson. I just wanted to acknowledge the presence or either the arrival of Mr. Patrick Gauta, and I would like to call upon him to come to the front, please. Please. The community, as they say, you see, they already attend to the head, and the space is provided, please. It's due respect, sir. Can you? I'm very sorry to make them aware of you. Even the chairperson could not even realize. And thank you very much.
thank you. As I was saying, when I was seated there, when I was seated there and listening to Pet and CK narrating the history of African stars, the ambassador whispered in my ear, "Ex-chairman, you are causing a commotion." The ambassador whispered in my ear and said, "Is this history documented?" Because this history needs to be documented. And myself and Patrick always have a conversation whether the team of the 70s and this team that we took over from 2013 to where we are now, which one is the most successful team? But if you hear about the amount of cups that Pat talks about, 14 cups in a period of almost 10 years. That's almost a cup every year. So, CK, you must tell us which team is the most glorious team. Director of Ceremonies, acting chairperson of the steering committee, and the entire leadership of the interim committee. Distinguished guests, members of the media, the patron of the Supporters Club, Dr. Kaira Mwende, and last but not the least, the Okavango Folklore. I'm honored to welcome you to the first Congress of our beloved club, African Stars. We have gathered here as the Okavango Folklore to organize and provide impetus to one of the most important stakeholders in the African Stars value chain. We also take this opportunity to pay tribute to one of the favorite sons of our beloved club, Jackson Koshuru Meroro, who passed on earlier in the week. Koshuru was part of the special breed of players that put the great African Stars ahead of the pack in the late 70s to the early 80s. This team included Oscar Kongwabi Mengo, Tokoro Miramba, Albert Honyo Shiero, Tokolo Naube, Dondo Singa, Carlos spoke about him, Asari Anjiva Kawani, Emmanuel Kamuthrandu, Bernard Newman, Levi Jurite, George Karizek, and a young Yuku Shaluko, amongst others. May the soul of Koshuru find peace in eternal rest. To all those who have lost in the course of life, African Stars make a solemn commitment that you will never betray the cause to which you dedicated your lives. May their souls rest in peace. The African Stars name represents particular periods in the football history of our country. The Okavango Folklore is meeting here today to send out a powerful message to all our people and the peoples of the continent. The message is that we want to compete in Africa and compete with the best. However, you cannot compete if you are not organized. And this is the reason why we are here. We have amongst our distinguished guest, Mr. Patrick Kauta, the former chairman of our beloved club, and I'm very pleased to extend a special word of welcome to him. This message goes further to say that the Okavango Folklore have made the common determination that the leadership that will be elected from established branches in 121 constituencies of 100 plus 1 members. I think the chairperson already spoke about 600 members that they have on the WhatsApp groups. Surely those 600 members cannot love the concept of Supporters Club only. They need to participate. The idea is that we will not have a membership that is not active. We need to bring certainty to what the club intends to do, and subsequently we need to have the warm bodies, and these warm bodies will come through branches. Even if you establish 3 branches, colleagues, that's almost 300 people. We have the new statistics numbers that says that we have 3 million, we have hit the 3 million mark. And surely as the biggest club in the land, there's no way we cannot have branches that exceed over 2,000 people. The work of African Stars is serious work. And this club is of grades that CK spoke about. Berthold Chiunje, Meuju Kakunde, Mike Kango Vakpek, Tateka Pundihei, Skate Kanjire Mungu, Kela Kauta, Yambura Njahera, David Jode, Ikwepika Uyao, and one of the few survivors, Minene Opet Kamburana. Those who are meeting here this morning represent the beautiful future of African Stars that is being born. The dark days of Namibian football failed to divide us, and those who were divided suffered greatly. We speak about Pirates, we speak about Black Africa, we speak about all of these great teams. But the common factor is the division that came. And we stood together as African Stars. African Stars have stood the test of time and will continue to do so. In order to fully appreciate the task that falls on our shoulders as we meet here, the Okaferandu folklore must understand that this Congress has convened to discuss not merely the fortunes of African Stars, but the future of football in our country and the continent and beyond. We are not allowed to play football in Namibia because our stadiums are not up to standards. But we don't have VAR in Africa, CK. The point I'm making is that we didn't meet here only to organize ourselves within the context of African Stars, but we have met here to organize ourselves in the context of football in the country and on the continent. Why I'm speaking about VAR is that when we participate in Africa this year, we must probably play our games in Botswana. Last year we played in South Africa. We scored a legitimate goal against a team from Zambia. The goal was ruled offside. You must remember the cost involved in taking this club to play these games in Africa. Yet your goal got overruled because of some suspicious offside. There's no VAR, so then why are we playing football? Namibia now had a penalty against Liberia, clear penalty. There's no VAR, so why are we playing football? So as part of your work as a supporters branch is to make sure that the activism around football and the fairness and equity of the game is activated. From its foundation, African Stars has served as the heart and soul of our people and an agent for the unity of the Namibian people. Supporters, club, and branches should continue with this. The transition of the club should include all Namibians, irrespective of race or tribe. Accordingly, the constitution that will be presented, and you will walk through that, put a special obligation on the Congress to live up to the expectations of our people to address their concerns and aspirations. The Okaferandu folklore gathered here will have to make the commitment that the future of our beloved club will be better than the present and the past. We wish you a fruitful deliberation, and may the most gifted amongst us be elected. Onjiriyo. Hashtag. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Hay. It's really a moving statement. Those who will be becoming leaders of the supporters club will have to take action on what needs to be done. You have mentioned 121 constituencies. It's really a move that cannot be swept under the carpet. So I believe the Supporters Club leadership will take that up. And thank you. Having said that, I know we are running over tea time, but it is our tea. It is our tea. I know it is cold, but allow me, please listen us, for continuity's sake, to allow Mr. Patrick Kauta. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, before Mr. Kauda come, I was just reminded to do a quickly acknowledgement of some members. Mr. Mondi Javera, who also have contributed, is making an impact to our organization of our Congress. Ms. Kavedepa also from abroad, and Mr. Kambo also, who have also contributed towards the organization of the Congress. We really appreciate and ask everybody who have made this contribution. And I would also like to acknowledge the apology of Mr. Wahira Shirondero, the supporter number 1 who could not make it with us due to work commitment also, but he did his contribution as he was also on air last night. So I would also like to acknowledge the presence of the supporter number 2 or number 3 also, Mr. Muyenda and his brother, that they are here with us. You see, some of the things, it's not that we just go for the matter of going. People have the team at heart, so we carry it onwards. So, and let's also instill it to other people also who are coming to a next generation. Thank you, Mr. Kauda.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Kauta.
Good morning. I wasn't supposed to speak. If I was going to speak, I must apologize then for speaking after Mr. Hay, crashing this program. I just came as an observer. And I think all protocols being observed, I think to the patron of the Supporters Club, Dr. Wende, the chairperson of our beloved club, Mr. Hay, and all the organizers of this auspicious occasion, and all of you who have set aside a cold morning to be at this important occasion. I just have a few words. And hopefully I'm not going to take you too long. So I had an occasion to look through the Constitution only today. Uduba, Uduba has provided us transport when we were nowhere, and it's for a long time. Him and I have been discussing this thing. I think if you remember our trip to Botswana, years ago, yes. But be that as it may, so I had to look at the Constitution, and it's important to remind ourselves, and I'm going to offer a lawyer from our law firm to assist whoever is elected to put it, to make it a very functioning document. And I want to take you guys back to 2001. In 2001, as a run-up to 2001, we had a similar supporters with a constitution that was then drafted by the late Mr. Kamboa, and Chihuiko and the likes, who were in management with us, Stanley Kodongwiri at the time. And African Stars, I think, decided around about 1998 to 1999 to register itself, or to convert itself from a community club to a PTY. That took place eventually in 2001. Those of you who are old enough will remember that there were adverts for people to buy shares and the likes. So the scheme that was decided then, and I think I joined as a secretary then, was the Bayern Munich model. Club 500 was then registered as a PTY, and a supporters trust was to take shareholding in Club 500, which owned the entire shareholding of African Stars. I'm saying all those things because I'm reading the Constitution, and I am regrettably cannot see how you are fitting it into, because the idea ultimately, as Mr. Hay has put it, is not only to create supporters structures, is also for these supporters club through the NEC to own shareholding and be represented at the board of African Stars for its voice to be heard, and also for it to be, because there's an element of shareholding that will come with this, and and this is why we are saying perhaps this document and how you finally structure into the greater scheme of ownership of the club will have to be addressed because, I mean, you're going to use the logo of the club, you're going to raise money, and you're going to have shareholding. As it were, you will remember that Sydney then took 50%, and then 2016 he left. But so what we have done to try and make it lean is we have deregistered the Club 500, and we are saying we need to work at this document as you do, so that you filter through and have representatives on the board. Because, I mean, we have said we want to make that provision, and it must happen. This filters through to another important thing why we insist that must happen, is that remember that in the eventuality that we built a stadium, which is not too far-fetched an idea, the seats there of at least 7,000 seats in that stadium will be reserved for our supporters. As a rule, we are not going to sell tickets at the gate and the likes. It will simply be through our branches. And this is why the clarion call of Mr. Hay to establish these branches as soon as possible. We urge you to do, or the new committee that does that, perhaps we can meet next week so that we thrash out how to do that, so that we announce plans together while we are putting our house in order. I think I just wanted to say that. Yeah, just because we are in the process of doing that, but we don't want you to, so that we are not together as we're moving forward, because, I mean, this is really a great event that will lead to us owning this brand and taking it forward. The applications for the land are in. We are not just making empty promises. But soon we want to go on a drive to raise the money to build this as soon as possible. But we need everybody's shoulder on the wheel. I think with all with that, another issue that's mentioned here, we are also not looking for sponsorship. Just so that you know, we are looking for more partnerships, and I see whoever drafted this document is on the correct path with respect to the partnerships that we are looking for, and this is why we are talking. That's why we are alerting you to that. But without further ado, I thank you, and I wish you a successful meeting. I will disappear at a point in time. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Kauta. And I knew that's why I brought you also to the front. It's unfortunately that the idea of the constitution, it was quickly rushed, and we wanted something to have on the platform. In the same vein also, I would also like to acknowledge the contribution of a chief, Omdu, Itwapewa Mutembwana Tereka Vepa, Miheshima Ukanakuma Tulio Meta Hambana, Ushashiri Shimoshokune Kurepa, Brukana, no, Hewasha, Uriquare Computer, Urimunji of Usha Clear, Okana. Munduno Mongo Busha, Okuneno Kurepa, Koba ideas, Dari Kondo Dunga, Ontario Dando Yetu, Chatukojifu Kutano, when we started this. With my co-MC there, we were always forcing. That's why Mr. Hay was always knocked at the door that, no, we want to see you, we want to see you. So we wanted the clarity and the more communication system so that we can create. Yeah, so that's actually what we were supposed to, we were in need to do. But before, I would just like to ask also the management before they leave, just to have 2 group photos with the steering committee and the rest of the group also, please, before you leave or venue. So I think we will proceed further on. What is the next item on there?
Yeah, thank you very much. Now, yes. Tea time is also important. Yes, tea time is very important. So at least we have received what we have received in terms of speeches and discussions. Let's now break for tea for 30 minutes, then we come back. Okay.
But we can still have the photo before we go for dinner.
No, I don't want the mic. I wanted I don't know whether the 2 MCs have not been soccer players, because we look as if maybe we are at a funeral or something like that.
Okay.
So because I wanted, I think Solomon did a good thing. Njiriyo Okaterandu, hashtag Okaterandu. Yeah?
Njiriyo Stalile.
Njiriyo Stalile. Okaterandu. And then we can do 1, 2, 3 claps, and then we can. Okay. Just so that we get a little bit of a warm up.
Yes, a warm up.
As if we are. So Solomon, you will lead you remember your heydays, eh? So we can just stand up and then we can say Njiriyo. Hashtag. And then we clap, eh? 1, 2, 3. So that means 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay. All right. There we go. Njiriyo. Hashtag. Okay. All right. Come. Enjoy. Come, so that you will help. You are waving the finger. All right. You, eh? And then when we, after that, we just do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, we go. Hello? All right.
Ondirio?
Salile.
Okatelandu?
Ondirio?
Salile.
Respect.
Okatelandu.
Ondirio?
Salile.
Respect.
Okatelandu.
Ondirio?
Salile.
Respect.
Okatelandu. Wetu pendula nawe.
The steering committee is quickly, then the group also is ready. Let's come, please. Right, and then the rest. That's good. Good. Yeah. Hakuna bana all of us.
It's called.
Right.